And a lot of news coming out of the United States as President-elect Donald Trump names a slew of new appointments, including UN Ambassador Elise Stefanik, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Middle East Envoy Stephen Witkoff, Secretary of State Pete Hegseth, and Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to lead a Department of Government Efficiency. And of course, U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Joining me now in the studio to discuss what these picks could mean for Trump's Middle East foreign policy approach is Rabbi Tuli Weitz, Director of Israel 365. Tuli, always great having you in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
So quite an impressive list that Trump has assembled. Let's start with the announcement of Mike Huckabee as U.S. Ambassador to Israel, a great choice. What can you tell us about this pick, and what could this indicate with regards to Trump's policies on Israel and especially on Judea and Samaria as well?
Yeah, it's only been a week, and every day we wake up to better and better news. He's putting together a dream team, and the policy is going to change from night to day, from bad to good. We're going to see great things, especially when it comes to handling the war. I mean, Israel's been focused on winning the war, total victory, and America and the Biden administration has been focused on humanitarian aid to Gaza. And as a result, Israel's fighting with his hands tied behind its back, and they are slow walking the weapons, they're holding back weapons, leading to the death of IDF soldiers. They are preventing Israel from taking any kind of preemptive attacks on our other enemies, and they are focused so much on the wrong things. President Trump, on the other hand, has said that we are going to support Israel finishing the war as fast as possible. He wants this war to end. So I think we're going to see, hopefully, not only an end to the war, but a release of our hostages soon. The second thing is that when it comes to Judea and Samaria, I mean, the Biden administration, Kamala Harris and Tony Blinken, every time they talk about how there needs to be a Palestinian state. And President Trump, on the other hand, is saying, well, I don't think that's a good idea anymore. And then he appoints Mike Huckabee, which is the biggest proponent of the Judea and Samaria. He doesn't even call it the West Bank. He only refers to it by its historical and biblical name, Yehuda v'Shamron, Judea and Samaria. The Biden administration is sanctioning settlers, and Mike Huckabee wants to buy a house in Efrat and become a settler himself.
Yeah, I've heard people say that he's more pro-Israel than some Israelis themselves even. And, you know, I want to point out that this appointment is the first non-Jewish ambassador to Israel since 2008, I think. And Governor Huckabee is an evangelical Christian and, as you said, a true supporter of Israel. You know, as the whole evangelical community has been, especially since October 7th, what does this appointment mean, do you think, for the evangelical community as well and for the ties with Israel?
It's a really interesting appointment that so many ambassadors have been Jewish over the last number of cycles. And the choice of an evangelical ambassador to Israel really reflects the change in the dynamic. It used to be that the main support for Israel was coming from the Jewish community. And that has really shifted a lot in recent years, that the Jewish community, unfortunately, has really gone in the wrong direction. And especially the more liberal and progressive elements and movements in the Jewish community have led their movements to become the leaders of the anti-Israel protests and the pro-Palestine protests. And you have groups like J Street who are really in cahoots with the Biden administration. And so we're seeing that the Jewish community has really moved far to the left, whereas the Christians have become the backbone of support for Israel. And so the choice of Mike Huckabee as ambassador reflects that. And I think that's a good thing. I think as a Jew, that's a good thing, that the evangelicals will have our back even more than the Jews. And there, you know, a lot of times Jewish leaders are very nervous about the allegations of dual loyalty. Well, Christians don't have that problem. They have one loyalty. They have loyalty to God and the Word of God. And the Word of God is really crystal clear that America needs to support Israel. America needs to bless Israel, and Americans need to be the guardians on the walls of Jerusalem, and Christian Zionists pray for the peace of Jerusalem every single day. And so I think that this pivot is something that we as a Jewish community need to wrap our our arms around and start really building relationships between Jews and Christians.
And there was some concern that a second Trump administration would not be as supportive of Israel as the first. Do you think that the team that he's putting together, as you called it, the dream team, do you think that puts those concerns to rest?
I don't know who had that concern. Everyone I know was so excited for a Trump victory and for Trump to win, and for that his second term is going to be even better than the first term. All the Americans in Israel voted for Trump. The Orthodox community voted overwhelmingly for Trump. Again, it's that more liberal, progressive, mainstream Jewish community that's warning, oh, Trump's going to be racist, he's going to turn on Israel, he's going to be a dictator. We're going to see a golden era of Jewish-Christian relations and a golden era of America-Israel relations.
A golden era, I like the sound of that. Rabbi Tuli Weiss, thank you so much for speaking with us today.